So
Speaking of other news and movies as opposed to TV shows.
And to wrap it up, we'll segue into the next topic because I think, put your tinfoil hats on, I think this news
that
about
the Michigan officials were paid.
This news about Deadpool 3
Yeah.
came out when it did because there was bad news coming out about Blade. And Marvel Studios wanted to be like, don't look at Blade. Wolverine's back. Like, you know what I mean? Because why else would they announce it? They should have announced that at D3 unless the deal wasn't through. But I'm just saying, it to me makes sense that the Deadpool 3 announcement was damage control because of all the drama.
Imagine a world.
How am I crazy?
No, I don't think you're.
Think of the fucking comedy!
Jesus, calm down.
Seriously.
Comedy!
He's going to have a fucking stroke. You know, I can't say who he really reminds me of. You can play it or what?
Dang it.
Comedy!
Fucking
All right.
bullshit fucking soundboard.
All right.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Blade, in trouble. Dun, 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 dun.
I was going to go to Armor Wars. We'll get to that, though. But Blade.
Yeah. Well, again, we'll talk about.
Lost writer and
It's all-
director.
I think
it's
this-
all tied together.
I think it all ties together.
Lost writer and director. And you know why
Well-
Armor Wars was made a movie, probably, right? Is what you're going to say is because Blade's in trouble and it's not going to come out when it's supposed to.
Let me just talk about Blade. God. But you're right.
Yeah, I fucking read
Why are you trying to rush the show?
I wasn't rushing anything.
Oh, you're teasing. You're teasing them too hard.
teasing him too hard.
I'll drink your blood.
I fucking know,
Whoa,
Alex.
whoa.
Well,
Comedy!
yeah, that's
right.
what that is.
So, yeah. Blade is in trouble because they lost the director and they were supposed to film in a couple weeks. I think they were supposed to start filming in like November. Maybe late October, early November.
I thought you were going to say Les Mis.
And this movie's supposed to come out next November.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. There's some rumors saying that Mahershala Ali is frustrated with the process. He's not liking what's going on.
I read that he was upset with the low quality fight scenes.
There's only 2, allegedly.
Or the lack
script
of
is only
maybe
90 pages long, which
an hour
generally, script writing is a page is about a minute on screen. So about 90-minute movie.
So if you're talking about somebody bringing a first draft that's like 260 pages long, you're like, that's long.
So now I'm also hearing there's also other rumors coming out, and this is according to comicbookmovie.com. So I don't know how credible this is. That's why I say it's a rumor.
Yeah. Those guys.
But there's a rumor that Moon Knight and X-Men 97 writer Bo DeMeo
yeah, I heard that.
is rumored to be overhauling the screenplay.
Yeah.
Which, again, this is what makes... I can understand people panicking and thinking that this movie is in trouble. But as someone who's watched a lot of making-of documentaries for a lot of big movies, most movies come out with bubble gum and duct tape. So there's no reason to panic.
As much as you want to say like everything was planned and everything came together exactly the way it's supposed to be. Look, you and I work in radio. We know, part of the fun of it, but also part of the nature of being in it is knowing that something's going to go fucking wrong.
Murphy's Law make
real shit happen. Like Tombstone, one of the greater movies, one of my favorite movies. Great movie. It's directed by some guy, I think George P. Cosmatos or whatever, but almost everybody that was on the set knows that the guy who was originally supposed to direct did not know what he was doing. It was his first Hollywood movie. I can't remember his name. But Kurt Russell basically stepped in, who's been in Hollywood his whole life to that point, since he was a kid. Walt Disney died scrawling something about his name or something when he died. He was like, whoa, Kurt Russell. Or something. I'll have to look that up. But he's been in Hollywood for a long time, and he literally like Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton, all the people that were Powers Booth, all those guys that were in it were like, dude, if it wasn't for Kurt Russell, that movie doesn't get made. And he was like, I don't want to, be the director or whatever, but he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, there's so many stories of movies that have drastic changes in the script and drastic rewrites and that. It happens all the time. I do want to say that it was Blade director was Bassem Tariq was the director that stepped down.
They said and tweeted all the right things.
Yeah, it was
Like,
they put
we're going a
together a
different
killer
direction,
cast and
yeah.
crew. Da, da, da. Well, what I think. So we said that Mahershala. I always second guess myself. Like I didn't say it right, but Mahershala Ali is said to have grown frustrated with the process. He reiterated that Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is simply spread too thin, and this is from the article. That's hardly a surprise with the multiverse saga playing out pretty much half the time the Infinity Saga, and I think that we're seeing a lot of. We saw it with the visual effects artists speaking out over the summer. I think we're starting to see it now more with directors. They are producing these things too quick, and I think look, you could argue and say, look, I keep saying look. You could argue that they're the director, and you know what? If the studio has a release date, I'll make it and get it done in that time. I can't promise it's good. It's the studio's fault. They put that deadline on me.
Yeah.
But then you get labeled as the bad guy as the director, and then you're like, well, he's unprofessional. And it's like, I mean, shit, you look at, was it John Watts was the guy who did the MCU Spider-Man movies?
Yep.
He left Fantastic Four because he's like, I cannot make this movie in the schedule that they want. And he was burnt out. And I was like, yeah, no shit. You made 3 blockbuster movies, and the third one bringing together generations of Spider-Man storytelling. Of course you're going to be fucking tired.
That's like when the Bills made to 4 Super Bowls in the 90s in a row. Like it's like people don't realize that they were pretty much playing all year round almost.
So
I mean, spring camp started probably 2 or 3 months after the Super Bowl, maybe 2. So I mean, it's the same thing with blockbusters. I mean, you go from one to the other, you don't have time to slow down.
Right,
Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm not surprised if some directors.
You will have nightmares of actors screaming at you and peeing in a cup and throwing it at your face. That's a big nod to Chinatown.
Yeah. So Bo DeMayo is rumored to come in and kind of just rewrite the whole thing. It says, and again, this is rumor. Rebuilding Blade's story from the ground up following Stacey Kufors. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. She was one of the writers on Watchmen, so that's kind of shocking that one of the writers on Watchmen has a bad script.
No,
that was a well-written show, so I don't.
I don't think that was. I don't think saying it was a bad script. Maybe just not
either.
The script that they wanted. Now, probably what's going on is Mahershala Ali heard it, or was like, okay, I'm gonna trust the process and let this kind of bear out. But here's some ideas I have, and and they tried to incorporate as best they could, but they maybe didn't, and maybe, for whatever reason, he was expecting hey, you guys have had this and come back with something that is gonna blow the doors off, and they came back with something that was underwhelming. Okay, wait a second, this is Blade's introduction to the MCU. This is, a character that people know and love, and this is what you bring me?
And this, I
guarantee you that Bo DeMayo, I guarantee you that he and Mahershala Ali are going to work probably side by side on the story together, instead of the way it was, which was Ali saying, hey, here's some of the things I want, and then them coming to him with a script afterwards. I think it's going to be better. And you know what? It probably is why Armor Wars is now a movie instead of a TV show, because next November, guess what's going to replace Blade?
Well, anyway.
Is there a fucking fly down here?
There is. Jeez.
I'm going to kill it.
Dude, please. Take that negative energy somewhere else.
No.
At first I was like, damn, that sucks to think that they lost the director so close to when they want to shoot. But again, this stuff happens all the time. I mean, shit, Back to the Future, famously, everybody knows that story that they recast a month into shooting. So shit like this happens. I just hope that they don't make it PG-13. Because let's be honest, and I know they've done a ton of work putting him in the main.
Maybe that's why he didn't like the script. Go ahead.
I know they've done a ton of work putting him in the main canon or whatever. But no, I guarantee you, most kids don't give a fuck about Blade. Blade is much popular with an older crowd because of when the movies came out. They came out in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Maybe that's why he didn't like the script, because the script writers were told to shoot for PG-13, and he was
Maybe.
like, "Fuck you."
Maybe, and again,
And he finally got a hold of Feige
which
and
is
said,
why
"Dude,
we need a
R
Marvel
or nothing." And he was like, "Fine."
Marvel Knights or Marvel something and make darker movies. Just do it. Who's stopping you?
You just want revenge porn.
No, I just want Blade to actually fight vampires because, from in my opinion, if you're going to make a vampire movie, it better be rated R. You better show some blood. You better show some violence because otherwise, when
Currently in the comics now, not currently, probably about like within the last couple of months, because there's Judgment Day going on right now in the comics, which I don't give a shit about. Big crossover or whatever.
It's Eternals and X-Men and Avengers. Axe. It's Axe.
It's Axe body spray, and it sucks just like it. Okay.
Judgment Day body spray.
Judgment Day body spray. We're gonna tell you it's gonna get you chicks, but it's
We
just
need
gonna make you smell like a douche.
You know what we need to do after this show?
What?
We need to make that a jingle. That's a TikTok right there.
Do 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 do.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Body spray.
Body spray.
It's X Judgment Day from Marvel.
Yeah, you wanna get laid on Judgment Day. You wanna get laid?
Sprayed with
Try some Judgment Day.
body spray.
Body spray. Spray it up.
Lather yourself.
Spray it down.
Uh-huh.
Spray it around.
Something tells me Marvel's not calling. But anyway, Blade in the main comics, in the main continuity.
Well, okay, so right now there's a dead Celestial in the middle of the Earth in the MCU. And in the comics, there's a dead hollow Celestial, which, again, the scale is vastly different in the comics, I think, because Celestials are not, like, as big as the planet.
They're bigger.
No, they're smaller.
Yeah,
in
they
the
go
comics.
into the planet,
Well, no, I'm saying like that's not a thing in the comics
Yeah.
how they're born. Anyway, whatever. But they're smaller, but I mean they're still huge. They hollowed out a Celestial and they made it Avengers like Mountain or whatever in the comics. So I have a feeling that something similar is going to happen in the MCU some way somehow. Celestial
somehow.
that Celestial is going to become like the new Avengers headquarters or whatever after Armor Wars like probably ruins Avengers, whatever the compound.
Yeah.
Probably somehow that's going to happen.
It's got to happen every movie. Just
The
like
New World Order is going to force them somehow to get into the Celestial that's trapped in the Earth. And by the time the Eternals and everything comes back, that's going to be going on out in the world. And by the time they come back to judge humanity, the Avengers are going to be in the Celestial. And the, what is it? What the fuck is his name? The name of Celestial. Arishem.
yeah.
Arishem, when he comes back and he goes, okay, I'm going to judge humanity or whatever, and he's going to see that they're in the dead Celestial, and he's going to be like, oh, fuck you, man. And that's going to lead to something having to do with, I think that's how they're going to get to Secret Wars with Kang's help somehow.
Yeah.
A cosmic, like, love-hate triangle.
Yeah. Dirty.
But that's, I totally
as
see
a
that
set,
happening. Don't you think?
because-
Something will happen in the New World Order that'll cause, what?
I'm getting so mad because I need to remember before that movie comes out to get the drop. I got to play the wrestling theme song,
God.
NWO. New World Order.
Because you were literally making what is it? You were making gestures like you were pissed that I kept talking or something.
No, I was just
okay.
pissed that I didn't think to get
I'm
that
just
drop.
sometimes I just read your signals
Or at
wrong.
least new Alex Jones saying New World Order. Captain America, New World Order.
Somebody's texting my ass.
And then I would say,
Seriously?
really? Come on, dude. You're failing me, soundboard.
Jesus.
Wow.
Are we waiting
Wow.
for an
Wow.
ad?
Nothing but garbage,
Yeah, you
Nothing
are.
but garbage, gang.
Soundboard.
Comedy!
Jesus,
Joke's
thank you
dead.
so fucking
Joke's
much.
dead, you
yeah,
ruined
you
the-
fuck.
Comedy!
Is gone.
And I'm just sitting here thinking.
Think of the fucking comedy!
We're trying to create some, but you can't get your ass gear and stuff.
Pizza time.
All right, let's talk about.
Okay. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.